Right, there has been a FIFA Council meeting today. Our chief correspondent, Kaveh Solhekol, joins us. You weren't at the meeting, but you can tell us what happened, for sure, because you've been speaking to me, so you definitely weren't there. Look, are we getting, is the big news that's coming out, a 64-team World Cup and an even bigger World Cup? And is that what's going on?
Well, look, officially, 64-team World Cup was not on the agenda at the FIFA Council meeting in Zurich today. Also not on the agenda were the proposals to expand the Club World Cup from 32 teams to 48 teams, and also to have the Club World Cup every 2 years instead of every 4 years. So officially not on the agenda, not up for discussion at the moment. But what did happen at the council meeting was there was a presentation towards the end of the meeting about the Club World Cup in the United States this summer. And FIFA believes that it was a very, very successful tournament. And I think there was a presentation outlining about how successful it was, according to FIFA. For instance, the council were told that the total attendance at the 63 Club World Cup games this summer was 2.5 million. There were no safety or security issues, no serious safety or security issues, any of the 63 games. Fans from 168 countries bought tickets. There was an average of more than 3 goals a game. 26 World Cup winners played in the tournament. 16 different nationalities in the final. 72 nationalities were represented in the matches. There was a total prize money of $1 billion to be shared between the clubs. There was also $250 million in solidarity payments for clubs all around the world. So it was all good news about the Club World Cup. That is what you would expect anyway at a FIFA Council meeting. But look, this talk of the World Cup expanding to 64 teams has not gone away. The South American Football Confederation really want that to happen in 2030. Also, I know the Club World Cup is very, very controversial because of issues with the football calendar. 32 teams played in it this summer, but there was no Liverpool, no champions of England, no champions of Spain, Barcelona, no champions of Italy, Napoli. And a lot of these clubs, although they may not be saying it in public, I'm not saying those 3 clubs, but a lot of clubs around the world are saying, hey, we want to play in this new tournament because there's $1 billion up for grabs. Chelsea made something like £87 million from playing and winning it. Just 4 weeks' work this summer. Manchester City, I think, made more than £50 million from playing in it as well. And as you know, money talks. And if you put money on the table, especially in the era of FFP and PSR, clubs are very, very interested.
It does talk, you're absolutely right, Kaveh, but we have to beg the question, you know, some of these players have been playing 70 games. Chelsea, I think, had 20 days off and then have started their season. And actually, they might be suffering a bit of a hangover from actually competing in a Club World Cup. And you're talking about it happening every 2 years.
Well, look, this is a big debate that's going on in football about the international match calendar. And this was discussed at the FIFA Council today in the context of the fact that FIFA is facing quite a lot of legal challenges. It's facing a legal challenge from European leagues, and it's also facing a legal challenge from the Global Players Union, FIFPro, who've gone to the European Commission and have said to the European Commission, what has happened is unfair because the international match calendar has been changed without us being consulted properly. Now, FIFA totally deny that. FIFA say that we have consulted everybody. And what happened at the meeting today is that the FIFA administration said, look, enough is enough. Let's stop all these legal disputes. They said, if you attack FIFA, you are attacking football. They said, our door is always open. Let's talk. Instead of doing this through lawyers, let's get together round a table and sort this out. And I think what FIFA would say is, if you look at the facts, I think about 1% of the games that players play are organised by FIFA. The other 99% of games are organised by leagues, domestic games or confederations, Champions League, Nations League. So FIFA are saying, yes, we do understand people think that we should stay in our lane and only focus on national teams and not get involved in club competitions as well. But we only make up 1% of the total number of games these players are playing.
So the worrying thing, sorry, I know we've sort of got to move on, but the worrying thing in my head is ticking away, is thinking if money talks and the FIFA competitions have got all this money, then do the likes of the Carabao Cup and, you know, the FA Cup all sort of pale into insignificance then, because they don't carry as much favour, they don't carry as much money. So what would happen?
No, that's a fair point, because obviously the FA Cup, I think if you win the FA Cup, you win like £4 million. Whereas if you win the Club World Cup, you make £90 million. But there's still the glory, isn't there? I mean, look at what happened to Crystal Palace this season. That is worth more than money.
But when players fighting to survive on money,
I think the tension we have got is that the players and the managers are saying we're playing too much football, but the people who own the clubs are saying we quite like playing more football, because the more football we play, the more money we make. And that money goes to the players and the managers and their agents.